Hello, welcome to the video today. Today we're going to be doing rear brakes on a 2016 Mazda 6. I've already placed the automobile in maintenance mode. You can see that in one of my other videos. The tools we're going to need today obviously is a jack. I have a jack stand underneath the car. We're going to need a 21 millimeter to take off the lug nuts, a 13 and a 14 millimeter socket with a short extension, tool to compress the brake calipers. I am using vice grips. You'll see why I need that shortly, as well as a file to make sure that the brake pads are sliding well. I apologize for any wind noise. It's a very windy day today and I wanted to get this job done. So I'm going to set you right over here and talk to you as I do this. So first, again, I already got the car up on the jack off the ground, and I have it supported with a jack stand. You'll see here once I take the wheel. This video likely is going to be two parts. I'm going to probably do the first part as the removal, and then I will do the second part as the reinstall of the new components. We're going to get the wheel off here. Okay, first we're going to start, again, main reason I'm replacing these is the pads are getting very low, and you can also see the rotors have been ground into pretty bad. We're in Pennsylvania, so the rust really gets the best of rotors up here. So first we're going to start by removing these two 13 millimeter bolts. The short extension is for this top one. This is the electronic emergency brake, and to get to this bolt directly you need the extension so you're not up against this plastic, which could damage it. So we're going to start here by removing these two 13 millimeters. And this is where I'm going to use the vice grips, because you can see this inner one is spinning. Sometimes you can get a wrench on here, but I'm just going to throw the vice grips on there. It'll be quicker and easier. I'll just throw these on here as I get this loose. Once you get it so far loose, you'll be able to just kind of wind it the rest of the way out by hand. That one's pretty loose. Top one now. The top one, you just want to be a little bit careful with if you do use vice grips, and make sure that you're not, again, right up against the plastic of the electronic emergency brake. So I'm going to stay here on the top and hold those as I get this loose. And again, once you get it so far loose, you should be able to just undo it the rest of the way by hand. Come back down here to the bottom and get this one the rest of the way out. Okay. Now that we have that off, you can remove the whole electronic emergency brake assembly, as well as the whole caliper here, and basically set it up out of the way. I found on these Mazdas probably easiest just to kind of lay them here, again just being careful with this plastic so it's not, there's no pressure on it, and this will kind of keep it up out of the way as you're doing all your other work. The next bolts we want to get to are going to be this one here and this one here. They're a 14 millimeter and they're much longer than you'd expect them to be, so they do take a little bit of time to get them out, and that will then remove this whole bracket and allow us to get rotor assembly off. I'm going to switch out my tools here. I don't think I needed the extension for this. Again, these take a little while. Sorry, I don't have video editing skills yet to edit this and speed this up for you, but I will try my fastest. Feel free to skip forward a minute or two while I get these out. Again, I think it's some of, you know, just the rust from up here that makes these a little bit harder to get out than they should be. Gonna break the break the bottom one loose here. Sorry. Oh. One thing you may want to do if you're replacing everything anyways is try to squirt a little bit of penetrating lubricant on some of these items. I'm going to grab some of that real quick just to help these come out a little faster. Again, if you live somewhere where there's no rust or no salt on the roads, probably will be much easier for you than it is for us here on the Rust Belt. Told you these bolts are much longer than they feel like much longer than they need to be. I've done a lot of brakes, and I don't know if I've ever seen bolts quite as long as these ones. If you're stopped here, probably fast forward another minute. Ugh. some point as you're taking them out, you'll feel they'll start becoming a little bit easier. And I thought maybe Mazda had put some thread lock on these, and that's why I was struggling. But I looked at them once I had them out, and they don't look like they have any thread lock on them. So my socket was stuck on there. Okay. Sorry again that took so long. I knew it would, but here's these bolts. Like I said, I don't think there's any sort of thread lock on those. As you can tell on the smaller ones there is. I think it's just really the rust from up here. So now that we have those off, you should be able to lift your whole bracket out. I'm going to do it off camera so I don't waste some time. But basically with this, you just want to make sure that your slides are moving. These ones are a little bit froze up, so I'm going to make sure I take those out and put some extra lube in them. And then I knock the pads out of here. Pay attention to this rear one that has your sensor on it to make sure when you're installing the new ones that the correct one goes on the correct side. And then I run the file through all of where the pads are going to slide to make sure that I get all the rust and corrosion out of there and the new pads slide well, because you can see these old ones, they're moving some, but they're a little stuck in there, so we want to make sure we clean that up. Again, I'm going to do that off camera. Next thing is getting this rotor off. Looks like it's not going to just fall off. Again, mainly due to the rust. So as long as you're not reusing the rotor, we can just hit it with a hammer. If you are reusing the rotor, I would recommend, if it's stuck, to shoot some anti-seize around the hub here, as well as all of the holes here, as well as this one hole in the rotor. Let it sit for a little while, rotate it, and then try hammering here carefully so you don't hit your studs. And if that doesn't work, sometimes I'll get a punch and stick that here and hammer the punch and kind of jar this, because you want to cause some vibration and disruption here, because this is where it's stuck to the hub on the other side. If you're not reusing the rotor, I usually take a few good swings at the rotor and you'll see that comes loose then. And again, I'm not reusing this, so I don't care if I damage this, but you don't want to do that if you're planning to reuse it. And then once you take that off, there'll be some crud from, but this is where this gets stuck. So I'm going to clean that all up with a wire brush and then put a little bit of anti-seize here, here, and here, so that way whoever does these next, which might be me, will not have to worry. You know, the rotor should come free a lot easier. So again, I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to do my cleanup and stuff, and then I will do a part 2 of reassembling. So if you want to see that, thank you for watching this. Please give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and go ahead and look in my other videos to see part 2 of the reassembly. Thank you.